Alright peeps, welcome back to Upaheight. Now as you can see, this roundabout doesn't quite keep up, but the time lapse at the end of the last episode shows that it does sort of keep up as well. Probably just about as good as the original one did. So we will have to do something about this intersection, but not this episode. This episode is all about finally sorting this river out, because it is an absolute mess. And I think we now are finally not flooding at all, and I'm happy with the water level where it is. Not water level, river level. I'm happy with the river level where it is, to be more accurate. The main thing we need to do is narrow this new cut of the river here, so it's not as ridiculous and wide, because remember this was just emergency flood relief, that's all this was up at Propa Upaheight here. Because without that river we had big massive flood walls, which is what these big oil rigs are built on top of. And as far as the old river goes, we do want to narrow it somewhat, because I've been a tad heavy-handed when it's come to redoing this river from time to time. As you can probably see from this monstrosity right here. But in the last episode, we did this little cut, made it so it was only just trickling, so we weren't flooding the lower part of Roundabout 2 in here. But it's not quite enough flow there, I didn't like that. So I think we're going to start by fixing this bit. And the way we're going to do that is by right-clicking this level here, bringing it all the way out to here, getting the slope terrain tool out, starting at the bottom, and bringing it all the way up to there, across the entire side of the river here. And it does include this bit as well, because this bit's supposed to be big cliffside property area. Alright, so now we got that, let's smooth it out, make it look a little bit nicer. This isn't the final form just yet, this is just getting it ready for the final form. Alright, now looking at the levels here, we do still have to go uphill somewhat to get in there. You know what I might do? I might bring this level out just a touch, and then smoothing it down, and then I'm actually going to bring this lower level down a bit here, just so we can try and get some water in this edge. Now actually looking at this farm here, we should have a level that goes at least out of here. This should be the way the river flows. I've just widened it a lot. So let's just quickly jump in and narrow this here. Well, after definitely not getting too carried away with sorting this out and somewhat sorting it out to an extent. Oh, it doesn't look great, does it? Oh, we'll get there. We'll get to the terraforming eventually. I do like the disappearing water though. I do like that. I am a fan. I think one last thing I'm going to do here. Bring the brush size down to 70. Pick this as the high point. Go down to the low point here. And just do a mad little schneck in here. A little something like that. And you know what? I'm going to do the same for the left side as well. Bring it down again. For another session of bring it downs. Right, now we've really opened up this area here. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, let's actually start sorting this bloody big river out. And I mean properly sorting it out. I'm bringing out the big 300 brush size here. So we've got the river split here. We come off to the side. I think the first thing I know we want to keep is this school. So let's get the school's level. Bring it around. We're going all the way to the back of this bit of roundabout here. We created ourselves a nice little island. Now if we continue doing, the next part I know we want to have on land is the berry boot. That needs to be zoned. It's nae good floating about like that. So let's pick the level of this power station and then bring up the berry boot. Now are we on the right level here? There or thereabouts. I think we may be on the correct level. It's just a case of these are all elevated roads here. So I'll leave that for now. We've got the berry boot island sorted. And then just after the berry boot there's this little section, which I do like very much. I mean, we have to have this section here to be land because it's the train farm anyway. Train station, rather. But I wouldn't mind having this whole ring be a bit of land. Or do I just bring the river in completely? I might do that, you know. Oh, I'm gonna get crazy with it. I'm gonna get crazy with it. Now look at that beaut of a sight. We've got the majority of Propa Upaheight back on land. Or at least once I bring the platforms down. And sort out the rest of the terraforming here. Right, now let's think about this little bit here. The first split. You can see where the original river course was, but I'm quite happy with it snaking around to the right here, because that expands this little island up here, and we can have a little bit more zoning going on. It doesn't all have to be farming. We can have a road coming through, or maybe even a tunnel so it doesn't disrupt the farmer, and then coming out. But I can see here that we are trickling at best when it comes to water through this new cut. And this is supposed to be quite a small cut. So what I'm thinking is we pick a high point here. We then want to think about the actual shape of this island and what we want it to be. See, we have it snaking out, coming under, and then just dipping in here. I think that'll be a tidy little river. It does need to be a bit smaller though, I will say that. So let's make it a bit smaller. Alright, we've narrowed the cut. Let's just smooth it out a little bit. Alright, how we're looking now? Not too bad. It's a nice narrow cut, and it will hopefully get some water in it. Or at least that's the plan. Let's have a look at the arrows, see what we're doing. Not a lot. You know what, let's come out. Do this line again, but at 40 this time. There we're gone. If naught else, we actually have water gone in there now. You can even see little arrows getting sloped in there like nobody's business. Getting longer and longer as they're stretched out. And they're gone down the little cuts out into the main bit of the river. Anywho, as I was saying, let's get the land, bring it out, and see how we start feeling about all of this. Reed, I think that's that little new island done. It's a corker little island, isn't it? Oh, I forgot to do the mountain. Alright, let me real quick do the mountain, and I'll get back to you. And there we have it, the mountain's back. And it's almost full glory. And we've got a little island here that we need to keep an eye out for flooding, because we have just narrowed this a wee bit. Forced a lot more water to go down a lot less space. Hit a big massive island here to go left or right. Let's see what the arrows are doing about that. Aye, they played diverting left and right. So I'm thinking this school island here, I want to bring it out to this little bit of land. Oh, I'm going to make a little bit of land here where this oil refinery is. We'll connect them together. So we got the building blocks of a new island there. I want to bring this out a little bit. I definitely want to cop this roundabout. This needs to be inland. There we go. So we got the route level for the roundabout there. Look at Oak. Oh, that's right. When I redone Hillside Lane there, it's actually supposed to come through where Oak Lane is and connect in. That's a good thing I remember that. Let's get the level of this bit of land here. Bring it out, bring it up, because I want that Sunnyside Lane to be connected. And then from here, I think if we take this as the high point, bring this around, just skirt the edge of Primrose Lane there, and connect back up to this roundabout. I think that's going to be the tiny little cut there for the water to go through. Now let's do a smooth in the middle. Oh, no, can't do that, forgot about that. Let's bring the brush size down, cut the river back in here, and now we can smooth it out. We can't have the sides of the river too close together, otherwise they just come up and block the whole river channel. Right, now before we get too smoothy, I do want to bring this land out around this road here. And there we go. I think I'm pretty happy with the head of that island there. We still need to do a little bit of terraforming, I know, but other than that, I'm pretty happy. Now, I know for a fact that from this roundabout, we're going to come up and make this land here. And I'm actually thinking we're coming at the bottom of the roundabout, smoothing it up, and just sort of cutting that in. Seeing how we end up looking with that. I think I'm happy enough with that from the berry boot. I did think earlier, I definitely want to bring this spit out a little bit more. You know what, should I bring it out to here? In this little oil field? And just connect that? Why aye, let's make that a thing. And there we have it. I think I'm pretty happy with this little section of the river now. We've got the islands, we've got the splits, we've still got a little bit coming through the side. Most of it should be gone and doing the bottom. Now, for this little narrow bit, of course we know we're missing the barrier boot here, but we're also missing this bit of the Applegate Highway intersection, whatever it's called. Because this is an absolute nightmare of tunnels and everything, so that's not all getting elevated. That's staying underground. Now, my plan for this side of the river here is to grab this big brush. Let me just casually flow this in. Oh, I've still got smoothing on. Wrong thing. Let me bring this level out here, just to the back of the Crest Highway. And then my plan is to have the Crest Highway there as a quay wall, and then have the Autumn Highway as a bridge. So the water will flow underneath the Autumn Highway, get blocked by the Crest Highway, until it gets to this bit, which we'll deal with in a while. But for now, I just want to get this section sorted. Hopefully, I've been careful enough and I've got this level. Oh, not quite. I can see a bit where it's poking out already. Let me quickly sort that out. Alright, so now the terrain under the Crest Highway should be just about halfway under. Because even though I'm about to upgrade it to quay walls, this quay wall here is, as far as water's concerned, purely a visual thing. It will stop zoning on that side of a road, but it will not stop water from passing through it. So let's upgrade all that to quay walls. And look at that, we've got a lovely quay wall now up the side of the river. Once I clean up the little bit of terraforming that I need to do, And it's only on one side of the river. I need to do this side as well. But before we get too far invested with this little channel here, we need to sort out the opening. So we'll use this angle here. This should help us out quite a bit. If we just pick this level where the park is, level it all out around it so we've got some meat. Bring that up to the roundabout. So we've got a little park island there. We know we need to keep these railway lines above ground. We know we want to avoid this industry here. Or is this a placed building there as well at the end of Autumn Lane? Alright, perfect. Let's grab the level there on Autumn Lane. And from the end of Crest Highway here, how do I want to go about getting the river round? I think I might bring some more levels out first. If we take this industry here, get a nice tidy level round. We'll take these buildings here, this bit of industry, zone that out, or landscape that out rather. You know what? I've decided. I'm going to follow Orchard Street out here. Maybe Orchard Street can be a key wall. We'll see, we'll see. I'm just looking, we've got a farm here, so why don't we bring the level out from here all the way to there. And where's the edge of this farm? Oh, the edge of the farm goes quite a way, alright. Maybe we don't give this farmer all his land back, but he can definitely have a fair whack of it. And there we have it. That's the little opening that's now just part of the river. A proper Nauta Mara touch. It comes through here and then opens up again. It allows us spaghetti. But I do want to check on this little area first. We are not flooding Roundabout Town just yet. We are definitely having a lot more water cannon doing there now though. What are our arrows looking like? Not too shabby. We're still getting a fair amount of water going down the side, which, you know, is the whole point of that area. And we can always finagle the entry point here if we start flooding. How are we looking upstream now that we've made those changes? Is this little bit flooding? It is, but I'm not sure if it was before. Because this was land, you know? Like I said, that green strip there is where the river used to go, so... yeah, nah. But now the water level's looking fine around School Island. It's looking spot on around here. Are we getting water scooping in here? Why, we are. You can just see the arrows. Just tiny little, well, arrowheads, basically. They're that small. Look at them. Tiny little arrowheads. Going through here, which is exactly what we want. And I can see as we follow along here, this looks canny. Oh, it does need a bit of a schmoove, to be fair. I'll give it a bit of a schmoove. Oh, that's right, yeah, because I need to figure out what I'm going to do key wall-wise over here, don't I? You see Magnolia Street here? I think I'm just going to do away with it for the most part. It's going all the way along. It was fantastic for zoning, but unless you can put some boat marinas in and have people living on boats and class that as residential over here, this street is just useless now. So let me smooth it out. And then where Spring Street is going to be a canal, I'm just going to come in and try my best to get the landscaping halfway underneath it. Right, well, let's upgrade this bit of Spring Street here to be quay walls all the way. And it has unlocked the zoning on the back of it there. I wonder if... you know what, I'm actually going to test because I'm curious. Let's just pop a bit of commercial on here. Will it zone over the top of that road? I did. That is a no. It doesn't work. It won't zone over the top of a road. You never know when you're dealing with mods. But there we have it. We're in the river and we've got a quay wall on both sides. How cool is that? Like I said, I'm going to do away with Magnolia Street. Get bulldozed. You're no longer wanted. And that'll also clear up the view for the canal there as well. Look at all the pedestrians. Are you all the homeless that have just been standing around doing now? Now you need to go stand on this bit of wall here. Oh, big zoom out. Yeah, the homeless are just relaxing on this bit of wall now. Hey, I love it. But yeah, now that I can actually see this bit of quay wall here, let me get my slope terrain tool out and make all of this dirt disappear. Oh, look at that quay wall. It like actually sort of looks good now. Look at it. Oh, it's starting to come together. Again, the city, after I ruined it by flooding it with an absolutely colossal dam there. Let's try and have a look at it from motorway level. Look at the size of that dam, man. It is huge. Huge. Now we can't just have this road here disconnected altogether. We're going to have to do something about that. Let's get our alleyways out. Connect into the roundabout. And then I'm thinking we connect in... oh no, that's going to connect in with the motorway, isn't it, if I do that? Damn it. Well, I'm thinking we nip under the motorway here. Oh my, what has happened there? Where is it? You know what? Let's just build the thing and then we'll see what happens afterwards. Because I want to come out and connect into that road there. Alright, what mess have we got here? Oh, no, it does. It goes underneath. I just couldn't see because of the shadows. That is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. There we go. We got Evergreen Lane connecting onto the roundabout there. Connecting on, well, to Evergreen Lane and Magnolia Lane. Right, now let's pause the game. Now that we have this river cut sorted here, it's time to delete this bit of motorway all the way to there. And this bit of Crest Highway to there. Now, what lanes are we working with? 3 lanes here. And we're 3 lanes, happy days. So if we got highways, we put our 3-lane one-way highway suspension bridges. And I might not do this actually because I think this is... Oh, damn it. And I've just remembered that this might not work the way I want it to here. Because bridges don't quite like to bend. But let's see how that looks. If it doesn't look too bad, I'll keep it. It doesn't look too bad, you know that. I'll delete it though, and we'll just place a normal motorway on and just see what the regular bridge looks like. Yeah, I mean, it looks alright, but I'm definitely going to have the suspension bridge. Ah, that looks much better than just the regular old motorway. Now I have the tidy task of trying to get a big motorway suspension bridge to go all the way across here. Speaking of, I wouldn't mind knowing where the actual bit of the road here is. That would be handy. Alright, that looks like it's connecting into all the things a bit backwards. Is this any cleaner? Alright, that's a bit cleaner. Alright, now wish me luck with this. Alright, how does that look? It doesn't look too bad. Oh my. Oh, I mean, I love it, but I'm going to delete it. So I have to do that all in one go. Okay. Alright. Now it is an actual proper big challenge. Alright, wish me luck. Ah, it doesn't look too bad. Not the best, not the worst, but at least it's at the correct bloody level. Why, aye, that's a tidy level, that. It's a little bit lower, but who knows? The actual motorway might have been a little bit lower. I connected it up using its original parts anyway. But we have now a massive motorway river bridge here. Oh, I love it. I thought it was a bit overboard when I had 3 of them now, but how many do I have? Well, I've got 5, but if you count each individual bloody thing, that's a lot of different spans that we have cable stayed up there. And we're not even done yet. This is just the first bit of the river. We need to sort out this second bit now, but not before we quickly check on the flooding here. Lack of, happy days, lack of flooding. Now, the last bit of this river is probably like... As much as that was fun and it's quite intricate, and like when this is all said and done, I think it's going to look beautiful. This area here is somewhat special because I have all the intentions to make little islands for land and things like that. A bit like the Gold Coast of Australia, if you're familiar with that area. A lot of that land is just reclaimed swamp. Beautiful, beautiful reclaimed swamp, don't get us wrong. But reclaimed swamp nonetheless. I actually lived on a reclaimed swamp in Hope Island. It was very nice. It's a very posh area of the Gold Coast is Hope Island. But I've done a lot of work at like Paradise Point and things like that, and that is, as far as I can see, just maybe little islands, but they've been expanded to allow for like houses and big blocks of flats and things to be built. It's a wild place. Awesome, but wild. This area has changed quite a bit. We still have this little bypass here for the old cut to come through, but instead of dumping straight into the new cut, it can's doing a little bit extra and creates a little peninsula / big old spit here, and still leaves the Roundabout Toon as its own little island. Well, the triple about's part of the Roundabout Toon at least. I want to do the usual check. How are we doing on the Roundabout Toon lower end? Not flooding, fan-bloody-tastic. If we go back up the old cut, we're not flooding just yet. Oh, we should probably look at rebuilding these. I don't know why they're gone, but yeah, rebuild these water pumps. We'll probably need those. But how are we doing on the new bit? We're not flooding up here, are we not? No, we're looking good. Doesn't look like there's any more underwater trees than there were before. Gone down to the school island. We're looking good. We're not flooding. We're still getting water. Oh, I thought this was the little new cut that I put through. No, that's the old metro tunnel / bridge that I need to redo at some point. This is the new cut, the little wee canal. And that is flowing like a dream. Alright, now for this bit, I am in fancy camera mode because I want to get down and see this big old quay wall. Oh, look at that, man. It is beautiful. Let's get down in it. Oh, look at this big river. You've got the city up there with the motorway. Well, you've got both motorways, the motorway bridge and the motorway quay. Look at those offices there. And then you've got the mountain city up in the top there with the tippity top of it still covered in snow. Now I do need to come out and clean this edge a bit. Make sure there's no dirt sticking out of the quay, because we definitely want that. Let's fly over the motorways and just see how we're doing. Ooh, we're doing alright. Not too shabby in the slightest. Right, I'll take that like. And this is where the old little connection used to be. But we've made this new island. Well, re-put the land back. Was not an island? Yeah, it's still a new island. I'm not wrong with that. Just because the road was once there doesn't mean it wasn't an island. Because it wasn't. Anyway, let's unupgrade this elevated road so we can have access to this big park here. Because all these people that still live here, I love that. And now it's time to do the last bit of the river roundabout tune. Let's go. There we have it. That's the lower part of Roundabout Toon. Not to be mistaken with the lower part of Roundabout Toon here. The lower part of Roundabout Toon's done. It's got its mad little island. It's got a really, really thin little canal here, which is actually blocked up because I forgot to deepen the river around here. So I'll definitely have to get to doing that. But for now, I just want to finish narrowing the end of the river here. Real quick, of course. I don't even think we'll have time for any bippity bops at this point. It'll just be like... done. Alright, well that's that bit of the river narrowed. I think there might be, yeah, a slight cliff edge I need to quickly deal with here. Let me just pick this level here. Start doing here like I did with the rest. And bring it up. I'll bring it down in this case. There we have it. A lot nicer now, especially with a bit of the smooth job. Oh, just sorted out Evergreen's quay wall there. It's looking clean. It's looking clean. And we do have water flowing both directions here. That is good. It is tight, so it probably will back up a little bit. But, like, look at this, man. We are in a canyon. It's all good. Speaking of things being all good, it seems I forgot to do a bit of landscaping over here. Which is near all good. Alright, well, with that all fixed, and that ground there definitely being at the same level as that road. Let's do this mountain spring. This should be a nice, easy, simple enough number. Alright, well, while we got the cargo train going across, we've got the river flowing its new path. Hopefully it's a tidy little path and we get down under the bridge just nicely and it looks nice on this river here. And would you look at that? It's a whole new map. Again, we've got Upaheight V3 now, is it? V1 was just the regular old Upaheight that anybody can play. I think this map's actually called Mountain Village if you want to play it. It's one of the stock maps. And then V2 was the big massive river that was cut in. And then this is V3, which is a bit more mildly cut. We've got more islands, less massive bits of river. Now I am going to have to let the game run for quite a while to make sure that we aren't going to flood anywhere. Because if you remember the time lapse from the last episode that was 2.5 hours long, the river barely got to the bottom by the time that was all done. So it may have to be an overnight jobby. Oh, actually, you know what I will do? I will sort out all of this terraforming off camera. I'll record it, but I'll not talk. And potentially leave the game running overnight one night. And that should let the river flow and settle and get to a point where I can see if I can narrow it some more. Because ideally, I want the river to be as close to the shore as possible. So like this level here, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So yeah, I'll be doing a lot of terraforming. Getting everything looking a bit prettier off camera and all that fun stuff. And then after that, we can decide if we want to make the river narrower, shallower, whatever we want to do with it. Or maybe just replace our big old dam at the top there. You can see we still have our foundations there. We could plop the dam down. That would most certainly increase the water level in this river. But for now, what I want to do is go through and right-click all of these roads. See, this one used to be a quay, so actually I'm going to have to right-click the quay off. And now we can zone on both sides. I believe this is just an elevated road, so right-click that. Now we get zoning back. Happy days. Any elevated roads need to not be elevated unless they're still over the river, of course. See, like this one, for example. This road still needs to be elevated. And one of the things I'll do off camera is just replace these roads. So yeah, you see this road here, for example, I'll replace it so it's only halfway and then it goes into a bridge. I'll resync all of these tunnels as well, all of these railway lines and things. Tell you what, like, there's a lot of Propa Upaheight and Roundabout Toon that ended up being bridges, wasn't it? Although we did have over 30,000 people homeless, like, so... yeah, nah, to be expected, to be expected. Alright, now I do believe that is all of the floating roads unfloated. That should be unfloated. Oh, apart from Sycamore Lane here, of course. We had to save that for last. A little bit of non-sped up action. Now, I did notice something while I was doing that. We've got a tiny little area here that we need to sort out, didn't we? I didn't leave this roundabout here to just be floating. Let's get the land up. And then let's create ourselves a tiny little housing island here. Now, we do not need this bit anymore. We can't afford to have that sticking out. Evergreen Lane, you can now be on the ground. There we go. Now we've got evergreen lane that can be zoned with whatever we choose to zone it with. Damn, look at this traffic. What's the crack here? Just everyone trying to get in, or people stopping to hitch lights? You catching a ride out the city? Yeah, look at the traffic's just non-existent on the other side of this little intersection here. And I have went through, messed with the priorities and everything, so this lane on the left has, like, actually has priority and the lane in the middle has to give way, but yeah, it just doesn't quite seem to work out. I guess it's that sort of random aspect of the traffic. But look at this, we're backed up all the way to where the river bloody splits out. Well, not splits out, gans out, and gans down. And you know what? I think I'm going to leave you here for the old episode. We can see all the traffic kicking about there on that dodgy little intersection merge area. It's not even an intersection, it's just a merge. And if we pan it back around, we can see our beautiful quay walls keeping the river straight and narrow through this bit of Propa Upaheight here. Now, while I slowly zoom up and out and change the camera angle so you can still see what's going on, I'm gonna smoothly transition to some sped up footage. Maybe not. Maybe I've got 20 hours of footage that I'm definitely not going to be able to tack onto the end of this episode or have a remote chance of having edited by 14 hours time, which is when this video goes public. So yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here, and I'll catch you next week with a special little episode that I haven't quite decided how I'm going to package yet, but it will be under an hour. It has to be. Doodles!